Captain Hansol stared at the strange purple liquid floating in the glass before him. The alien ambassador, Keel, had called it a welcome drink, a traditional gesture of friendship among the Arcturus Federation. The liquid bubbled and gave off a faint glow. "Please enjoy," Keel said through the translator, his four eyes blinking in different patterns. "Though I must warn you, we have made it only half strength, as our research suggests your species is quite fragile." Hansol smiled politely and took a sip. It tasted like spicy metal with a hint of strawberry. The aliens watched him intently, their thin bodies tense with worry. After a few seconds, their worry turned to shock as Hansol finished the entire glass. "Is everything okay?" Hansol asked, noticing their strange reaction. The drink was quite refreshing. The aliens started talking rapidly among themselves in their clicking language. The translator caught fragments. "Impossible. Should have burned. Death world species." "Captain," Keel said slowly, "that drink contains acid levels that would dissolve most species' digestive systems. We made a terrible mistake. Please, let us take you to medical." "Oh, you mean the carbonation?" Hansol laughed. "We have similar drinks on Earth. Many humans enjoy fizzy beverages." The alien delegation drew back in horror. One of them fainted. Hansol sighed. This was their fourth diplomatic meeting with the Arcturus Federation, and somehow they kept having these misunderstandings. Last week, they had panicked when Officer Du Young ate some spicy ramen during lunch break. Apparently, capsaicin was classified as a chemical weapon in most of the galaxy. "Perhaps we should move on to discussing the trade agreement," Hansol suggested, trying to change the subject. Yes, of course," Keel agreed, still staring at the empty glass. "Though first, may I ask, your planet Earth, what are its average conditions?" "Pretty normal," Hansol said. "Oxygen, nitrogen atmosphere, lots of water, temperatures usually between -50 to 50 degrees Celsius depending on location and season." The alien's color changed from blue to pale white. The one who had fainted woke up just to faint again. -50 to +50. Keel whispered in horror. "And your species survives this?" "Well, yes, with proper clothing. We also have more extreme places, like Death Valley or Antarctica, but most humans prefer milder climates." "Milder climates." Keel's translator crackled as his clicking sounds became more erratic. "Captain, I must be honest. We came here hoping to welcome humanity into the galactic community. But your species, you evolve in conditions that would kill most life forms instantly. You drink acids for pleasure. You survive temperature swings that would shatter most beings' molecular bonds." Hansol rubbed his temples. He really hadn't expected first contact to be this complicated. "I assure you, we're quite peaceful. These are just normal conditions for us." "That's what terrifies us," Keel said. "What you call normal, the rest of the galaxy calls impossible. The fact that you exist, that you thrive in such conditions, it defies everything we know about life." As if to prove Keel's point, thunder cracked outside the meeting room. A light rain began to fall, droplets pattering against the windows. The alien delegation scrambled away from the windows in panic. "Is that water falling from your sky?" Keel asked, his voice trembling. "Yes, just a mild spring shower," Hansol replied, wondering how he was going to explain snow if they were this scared of rain. "We must report this to the Galactic Council immediately," Keel declared. "Humanity is far more remarkable than we anticipated. The galaxy must be informed." Hansol watched the aliens hurry out of the room, leaving their welcome drinks behind. He picked up another glass of the purple liquid and took a sip. Maybe next time they should host the meeting on the alien ship, though he wasn't looking forward to explaining why humans needed such high gravity and radiation shielding to survive. The rain continued to fall outside, and somewhere in the galaxy, the legend of humanity's terrifying resilience was about to begin. Senior researcher Jai Young couldn't believe what she was seeing. Her hands trembled as she scrolled through the alien database that the Arcturus Federation had shared as part of their knowledge exchange program. Earth was listed under Forbidden Zones. Extreme hazard. The entry was over 10,000 years old. Different alien species had been watching Earth for millennia, and all of them had come to the same conclusion. This planet shouldn't exist, at least not with life on it. "Hey, what's got you looking so pale?" her colleague Yunho asked, walking into the lab with his usual cup of morning coffee. "Look at this," Jai-Yum pointed to her screen. According to these records, Earth has been quarantined by at least 15 different alien civilizations. They all classified us as what? As Death World organisms. They've been terrified of us before we even reached space. Yunho leaned closer to read the alien text. "That can't be right. Earth is pretty normal, isn't it?" Jai-Yum pulled up the galactic standards chart. "Not according to this. Most civilized planets have gravity 0.3 to 0.5 of ours. Their atmospheric pressure is about half of what we consider normal. And get this, they consider our background radiation levels to be in the lethal exposure range. But we've evolved with all that." Yunho took a sip of his coffee. "It's not dangerous to us." "Exactly. That's what scares them. Look at this note from the Centauri survey team from 3,000 years ago." Jo-Young read aloud. "The dominant species consumes known poisons for pleasure, intentionally exposes their skin to dangerous radiation for cosmetic purposes, and regularly survives physical injuries that would end most species. Conclusion: approach with extreme caution. Possible weapons-grade evolutionary path." Yunho almost spat out his coffee. "Weapons grade? Us? It gets better." Jai-Yum continued scrolling. "There's a whole section about how we're basically super beings by their standards. Our bones are too dense, our muscles too strong, our immune system too aggressive. One species reported that we can regrow our outer shell. Oh, they mean skin. Yes, apparently, most species can't do that. And then there's this whole panic about how we can eat almost anything. There's a note here saying, the species can consume matter that would dissolve standard metallic containers. Are they talking about hot sauce?" Jai-Young nodded. "And pickled foods, and fermented drinks. Half the galaxy thinks we're crazy for letting our food rot on purpose and then eating it." The door to the lab opened, and Director He-Jin walked in. His face was serious. "Jo-Young, we need to talk. The Galactic Council just called an emergency meeting. Someone showed them a video of a human child eating ice cream." "What's wrong with ice cream?" Yunho asked. "Apparently, consuming frozen substances for pleasure is considered a sign of extreme biological warfare capability." He-Jin sighed. "They're now convinced we're some kind of super soldiers." Jai-Yum looked back at her screen, at the thousands of years of alien civilizations watching Earth in terror. "Should we tell them about how humans go swimming for fun? Or would that cause a galactic panic?" "Too late." He-Jin held up his tablet. "Someone already posted a beach volleyball video on the galactic net. 3 species have requested immediate peace treaties, and 3 more have gone into hiding. They're calling us the species that plays in acid oceans." Yunho finished his coffee. "Maybe we should wait a while before telling them about extreme sports. Or spicy food challenges," Jai-Young added. "Or horror movies," He-Jin said. "They already think we're invincible. Imagine if they saw how we entertain ourselves." The 3 humans looked at each other, suddenly understanding why the galaxy was so terrified of their species. They weren't monsters. They were just humans. But sometimes, being human was scary enough. The mining accident wasn't supposed to happen. The joint human-alien operation on asteroid KB-147 was meant to be routine. But when the drilling hit an unexpected gas pocket, everything went wrong. Engineer Do-1 was checking the main drill's pressure gauges when the first explosion rocked the mining station. The blast knocked out the main power and damaged the life support systems. Warning alarms blared through the station as toxic gas began filling the lower levels. The alien crew members panicked. Their environmental suits weren't designed for these conditions. Within minutes, they had to evacuate, leaving behind valuable equipment and research data. But Do-1 stayed. "You must leave now," the alien foreman, Tech, shouted through the communication system. "The temperature is dropping to -20 degrees. The radiation levels are rising. The toxic gas." "I can handle it," Do-1 replied calmly, putting on his standard-issue Earth mining suit. "These conditions are harsh but not lethal for humans. I can save the core samples and the main computer." "Impossible. You'll die." Do-1 smiled inside his helmet. "Sir, I worked in Siberian mines for 3 years. This is just a normal Tuesday for me." The aliens watched in horror through the security cameras as Do-1 moved through the station. The temperature kept dropping. The radiation levels rose. The toxic gas swirled around him. But he kept working. Hour after hour passed. Do-1 secured the valuable core samples. He saved the research data. He even fixed the backup power system, all in conditions that the aliens considered absolutely lethal. How is he still alive? One alien scientist asked, watching the feeds. "He's been exposed to enough radiation to kill 3 of our species." "Look, he's eating something." Another alien pointed at the screen in terror. Do-1 had indeed stopped for a quick snack, some kimchi and rice he had packed for lunch. The sight of a human casually eating spicy fermented food in a freezing, radioactive, toxic environment caused several aliens to faint. 3 days passed before the rescue teams could safely enter the station. They expected to find Do-1's body. Instead, they found him sleeping in his emergency shelter, snoring loudly. When they woke him up, his first words were, "Is the coffee machine still working? I could use a hot drink." The story spread quickly through the galaxy. The human who survived 3 days in conditions that would kill most species in minutes. The human who ate spicy food while surrounded by toxic gas. The human who slept peacefully in what aliens considered a death zone. Mining companies across the galaxy immediately started hiring human workers, not because they wanted to, but because they were terrified of what would happen if they didn't have at least one human on their emergency response team. Do-1 became famous, though he didn't understand why. To him, it was just another day at work. He didn't think he had done anything special. "I don't get all the fuss," he told reporters later. "Sure, it was cold and a bit radioactive, but it wasn't that bad." Now, rush hour traffic in Seoul. That's really scary. The aliens who heard this comment immediately added Earth's traffic systems to their list of terrifying human phenomena. They couldn't understand how a species could consider radiation less frightening than their own transportation methods. From that day on, pulling a Do-1 became galactic slang for surviving impossible conditions, though only humans ever actually managed to pull it off. High Counselor Vex of the Galactic Council was having the worst day of his 300-year life. He was watching a security feed from Earth, and what he saw made his 4 hearts stop. 2 human soldiers, Min-ji and Ta-hyun, were walking through acid rain while drinking hot coffee. "This can't be real," Vex whispered to his advisors. "They're walking through corrosive water falling from the sky, and they're drinking a toxic brew that's hot enough to melt internal organs." The security feed continued to show the 2 humans chatting and laughing, as if nothing was wrong. They didn't even wear protective suits, just something they called rain jackets. "Look," one advisor pointed in horror, "they're eating something too." Indeed, Min-ji had pulled out 2 steamed buns from her pocket. She handed one to Ta-hyun, and they ate while continuing their patrol. Eating in acid rain, Vex shook his head. The legends were true. They really are invincible. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives from 50 alien species argued about what to do about these terrifying humans who treated deadly conditions as minor inconveniences. "Wait, it gets worse," another advisor said. Our scientists just analyzed their coffee. It contains a stimulant that would kill 90% of known species. They drink it for pleasure, multiple times per day. Vex watched as Minji finished her coffee and crushed the paper cup in her hand. Such casual display of strength. The cup had been holding liquid at temperatures that could cook most alien species. Should we consider them a threat? Someone asked. No, Tai-Hen's voice suddenly came through the feed. The aliens froze, realizing the humans had spotted their surveillance drone. Instead of attacking it, Tai-Hen just waved. If you're worried about the coffee and rain, Minji added, smiling at the drone, you should see what we do for fun. Ever heard of spicy noodle challenges? The drone operator fainted. Oh, and tell the council that next week is our annual marathon, Tai-Hen said. You know, where thousands of humans run 42 kilometers for fun. Several council members had to be carried out of the chamber. Running. For fun. Vex couldn't process this information. In their planet's full gravity. Want to join us? Minji offered. We can get you a visitor pass. No, thank you. Vex managed to say through the drone. We'll just watch from here. Suit yourself, Tai-Hen shrugged. But you're missing out. After the marathon, there's a hot pepper eating contest. The last conscious council member finally fainted. Later that day, the Galactic Council issued a new directive. Earth activities are to be observed from a safe distance only. Do not attempt to understand or copy human recreational activities. They are beyond our comprehension and safety limits. Minji and Tai-Hen never knew that their simple rainy day patrol had caused a galactic panic. They just thought the alien drone was being friendly. Weird how they always faint when we talk about normal stuff, Minji said, pulling out another steamed bun. Maybe we should invite them to a water park next time. Tai-Hen grinned. The nearby hidden drone operator, who was still conscious, quickly filed that under potential human weapons in the galactic database. The attack on the Earth colony Nusul came without warning. The Krill ships dropped out of hyperspace and immediately opened fire. They expected an easy victory. After all, their weapons were designed to vaporize most species instantly. They didn't expect Commander Sangmi. All civilians to the underground bunkers, she ordered calmly over the colony speakers. Defense teams, this is not a drill. Show them why humans don't lose their colonies. The Krill watched in confusion as the human defenders didn't run or surrender. Instead, they organized. They fought back. Even when hit by weapons that should have killed them, they kept fighting. Commander, one of her officers, Kita, called out. They hit the main power plant. Radiation levels are rising. Good, Sangmi smiled. That means we can fight without worrying about radiation protection. All teams, radiation shields off. It'll give us more mobility. The aliens intercepted this communication and couldn't believe their sensors. The humans were deliberately exposing themselves to radiation levels that would kill most species in minutes. The north wall is breached, another soldier reported. Acid gas weapons. Perfect. Sangmi grabbed her rifle. Everyone take a deep breath. Remember your training. This is just like the tear gas exercises back home. The Krill troops entered through the breach, expecting to find dead or dying humans. Instead, they found very angry humans wearing simple face masks, charging at them with makeshift weapons. How? The Krill commander demanded. How are they still alive? The acid should have melted their lungs. Sir, his science officer replied, trembling. Scans show they're just holding their breath. The situation got worse for the aliens when it started to rain. The human defenders cheered. The rain would help clear the acid gas. The Krill troops watched in horror as humans fought in conditions that their battle computers classified as universally lethal. But the real shock came when Sangmi was hit by a plasma bolt. The shot would have vaporized any other species. She just gritted her teeth, wrapped a bandage around her wound, and kept fighting. Ma'am, You need medical attention, Kita shouted. Later, Sangmei fired back at the aliens. I've had worse paper cuts. The krill intercepted this comment too. The idea that humans considered plasma wounds less serious than cuts from their information storage materials terrified them even more. After 3 hours of fighting, the krill retreated. Not because they were losing the battle. Technically, they had superior numbers and weapons. They retreated because they realized they were fighting something they couldn't understand. They had used weapons that should have killed instantly. The humans survived. They had used tactics that should have broken any army. The humans adapted. They had created conditions that should have been lethal. The humans treated it like mild inconvenience. Back on her ship, the krill commander wrote her report. Do not engage human colonies. They don't follow the rules of warfare, biology, or common sense. They just keep fighting. Even their wounds don't stop them. Even death-level radiation doesn't stop them. Even their commander being hit by a plasma bolt doesn't stop them. They are not super soldiers. They are something worse. They are humans who think they're protecting their home. Commander Sangmei finally went to the medical bay after the battle, but only because Kite insisted. The doctor tried to give her pain medication. No thanks, she said. Save it for someone who needs it. I'll just walk it off. The hidden krill spy drone that recorded this comment caused 3 more alien species to sign peace treaties with Earth the next day. Xenobiologist Hyunwoo stood before the Galactic Council, ready to explain why humans were the way they were. His presentation had caused quite a stir even before it began. 3 species had requested anti-anxiety medication just from reading the title. Human Biological Capabilities. A Scientific Analysis. Distinguished council members, Hyunwoo began. You fear us because you don't understand us. Today, I'll explain why humans are the way we are. He pulled up the first slide. Earth's specifications. This is where we evolved. High gravity, extreme temperature swings, high radiation, constant disasters, and aggressive life forms. Earth didn't make us strong. It forced us to become strong. Several council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Take our bones. Hyunwoo continued. You call them impossibly dense. That's because Earth's gravity is higher than 90% of inhabited worlds. We needed strong bones just to stand up. He showed a comparison of human and alien muscle structure. Our muscles aren't designed for combat. They're designed for survival. We can lift heavy objects because we had to. We can run long distances because we had to. We can throw things accurately because we had to hunt to eat. The next slide showed human internal organs. 3 council members fainted. Our stomach acid can dissolve metal because we evolved eating whatever we could find. Our immune system seems aggressive to you because Earth is full of microscopic threats. We don't just fight diseases, we remember them and become stronger. Hyunwoo pulled up video footage of human children playing in a park. Look at our young. They fall down, get hurt, and keep playing. Their bones heal stronger. Their wounds close faster. This isn't special to us. It's just how we survive. The council watched in horror as children fell, cried, got back up, and continued playing. And yes, we drink coffee, a stimulant that would kill most of you. We eat spicy food that would melt your organs. We go to saunas that would cook your species. Not because we're invincible, but because Earth made us adapt to extreme conditions. He showed the final slide. A simple Earth sunset. This is what you call a death world. To us, it's home. We're not super beings. We're not weapons. We're just the children of a harsh world that taught us to never give up. The council chamber was silent. Then one brave alien raised a hand. But what about the thing you call spicy noodle challenge? Hyunwoo laughed. Oh, that's just us having fun. When you evolve on a world that tries to kill you daily, you develop an interesting sense of entertainment. And the horror movies. We tell scary stories for fun. When you can survive almost anything, You have to be creative to feel scared. The council took an emergency recess after that. Hyunwoo's presentation was classified as need-to-know information, with a warning label, may cause existential crisis in non-human species. Later, one council member asked him privately, "Does anything scare humans?" "Oh, sure," Hyunwoo replied. "Taxes, public speaking, asking someone out on a date." The alien made a note to research these apparently terrifying human concepts. Perhaps they could be used for defense. Medical Officer Sun, he didn't expect her routine health demonstration to cause a galactic panic. She just wanted to show alien medical students how human bodies worked. "Today, we'll cover basic human biology," she began, standing in the teaching hospital's lecture hall. "Let's start with something simple: how humans heal." She pressed a pin into her finger, drawing a drop of blood. The alien students gasped in horror. "Don't worry, Sun," he smiled. "Watch what happens." Over the next few minutes, the bleeding stopped. The wound began to close. The alien students watched in terrified fascination as her body repaired itself. "We call this natural healing, Sun," he explained. "All humans can do this." One brave student raised a tentacle. You mean all humans can regenerate body parts?" "Well, mostly just skin and small tissues, though our liver can regrow up to 70% if damaged." 3 students fainted. 5 more requested to leave the class. Sun He moved on to the next topic. "Now let's talk about human sleep." She pulled up a brain scan of a sleeping human. The alien students who remained conscious stared in horror. Every day for about 8 hours, humans become unconscious. Our brain activity changes, our body temperature drops, and we experience vivid hallucinations we call dreams. You die every day," one student whispered. No, we just sleep. Then we wake up refreshed." "You can resuor ETT, wo RCLVs." The entire class backed away from her. Sun He sighed. "This happened every semester. Let's move on to the immune system." She showed them a video of white blood cells attacking bacteria. The alien students watched in terror as human cells literally hunted down and consumed threats. "Our bodies remember every disease they fight," Sun He explained. "We get stronger after each infection." One student raised a shaking appendage. "So, humans get more powerful every time someone tries to kill them." "In terms of disease resistance, yes, we call it immunity." The teaching hospital had to cancel classes for a week after that. The alien medical community needed time to process the fact that humans had internal warrior cells and could resurrect themselves daily. Sun He's demonstration went viral across the galactic net. Her casual display of healing sparked new rumors about human capabilities. The final straw came when she ate lunch during a break between lectures. The aliens discovered that humans could digest food by dissolving it in acid, extract energy from nearly any organic matter, neutralize small amounts of poison automatically, continue functioning without food for days, repair cellular damage while eating. The Galactic Medical Association classified humans as medical impossibilities and recommended treating them only in extreme emergencies. Sun He found it all very amusing. She tried explaining that humans weren't invincible. They just had good survival mechanisms. But when she mentioned that human children lose and regrow their teeth naturally, 3 more alien species requested peace treaties with Earth. "Maybe next semester," she told her supervisor, "we should skip the part about how humans can survive losing half their blood volume." The supervisor, who had just watched her drink hot coffee, acid at near boiling temperature, as the aliens classified it, just nodded weakly. Ambassador Jin Ho walked into the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council for the final peace summit. 6 months had passed since humans first joined the galactic community, and things hadn't gone smoothly. Every human action seemed to terrify some alien species. "Honorable Council," Jin Ho began, "I'm here to help you understand humans better. Yes, we're different. Yes, we might seem scary. But we're not your enemies. He pulled out a small plant from his bag. The aliens tensed, probably expecting some deadly earth vegetation. Instead, it was a simple flower. On Earth, we have these things called dandelions. They grow in the cracks of concrete, survive being stepped on, and thrive in harsh conditions. Many consider them weeds, but they're also beautiful, and children make wishes on them. Jin-Ho smiled at the confused aliens. Humans are like dandelions. We're tough because we had to be. We survive because that's what we do. But we're not just survivors. He showed them pictures of Earth, children playing, people helping strangers, doctors saving lives, scientists working to cure diseases. You fear us because we can drink acid, what you call coffee, because we eat spicy food that would kill you, because we can survive radiation that would end your species. But have you seen what we do with these abilities? The next images showed human emergency workers running into burning buildings, doctors working in disaster zones, astronauts exploring dangerous planets. We're tough so we can help others. We're strong so we can protect the weak. We survive impossible conditions not to show off, but because someone needs to do the dangerous jobs. One alien raised a tentacle. But you expose yourselves to danger for fun. Your sports and spicy challenges. Jin-Ho laughed. Because we learned that life isn't just about surviving. It's about living. About finding joy even in harsh conditions. About turning challenges into games. He showed them footage of the latest galactic rescue mission, where human teams had saved 3 alien species from a dying space station. You call Earth a death world. We call it home. You call us terrifying. We call ourselves helpers. You see monsters who can't be killed. We see people who won't give up when others need us. The council chamber was quiet. Then, slowly, understanding began to dawn. So, the council leader said, "You're saying we shouldn't fear humans because they're strong. You should be glad humans are strong," Jin-Ho corrected. "Because we use that strength to help others. We're not the galaxy's nightmare. We're its emergency response team." After that day, things changed. Aliens still found humans terrifying, but in a different way. They were terrified of how far humans would go to help others, of how humans would risk their lives to save even species that feared them. The galaxy learned that yes, humans could survive anything. But more importantly, they learned that humans would survive anything to help others survive too. And if some aliens still fainted when they saw humans drink coffee or eat spicy food, well, that just gave the humans more chances to show they could carry unconscious aliens to safety.